both a cold morning and a bright and sunny morning. I just got done doing my meditation and my long morning walk, and I'm feeling pretty good. I was talking to Tim Sheaf the other day, and we were both reflecting and talking about our own personal dietary journeys. And one thing that we were discussing was that it's an evolutionary process. It's a process of refinement and progression. And the only way you can successfully really navigate the right diet for healing yourself is by looking at the facts and being honest. How's my digestion feeling? How is my mood? How is my body fat? How is my athletic performance? How is my sex drive? How am I sleeping? How are my daily poops? Your biomarkers. Your biomarkers tell the tale. In today's video, I want to discuss when should you be more plant-based and when should you be more carnivore. And I think it's a very good topic to discuss with you guys because a lot of you guys have been vegan or plant-based and then you've moved into a keto or a paleo diet or a primal diet, and that kind of has worked for you, but maybe not so great. And other of you have gone totally carnivore, and that's maybe worked for you and not so great. So I want to just discuss and talk about with a little bit more depth how to navigate which way to go. So with the carnivore diet, you have kind of like, in my opinion, three main schools. You have like the Michaela Peterson school, which is, I put like Sean Baker in that school too, where it's like salt and beef and muscle meats, and that's about it. Sean Baker eats a little bit of fish as well. Very low spices. I don't know if either one of them uses much butter or anything else. It's basically beef and salt. Pretty straightforward, and water. You know, it's just a straightforward approach. On the other side, you have the nose to tail style, like Paul Saladino. And I'm not sure if you guys saw my interview with him, but it is up on the playlist for interviews. And he goes into great detail about he was vegan and it totally thrashed his body. Then he went paleo and kind of a ketogenic paleo and primal, and that didn't work for him that great either. And then when he went full carnivore, strict full carnivore, eating liver, nose to tail style, some fish, some seafood, but mostly beef and lamb and liver and brains and all the different parts of the animal, his eczema went away, his body issues went away. He was constantly losing weight and couldn't put on lean muscle, and it really helped him balance out everything. It made things pretty much absolutely perfect for him. And then you have Three Ridge, which I always say his name wrong. I can't say his name, but you guys know who he is. Stevrich, there we go. That's closer. He's the Viking. He's the big, blonde, strong dude who eats raw beef and raw fish and raw eggs and raw liver and drinks raw blood. He's an animal, and that approach works perfectly for him. But there are a lot of you guys out there that have been very interested in the carnivore diet and trying it, and you've done it for a block of time and it's just not working for you that great. And for some of you, it can be a simple fact of just adding a simple amount of carbohydrates like honey or some pears or some other low glycemic fruits and vegetables. And by doing that small adjustment to your carnivore diet, it brings you to a whole nother level with your biomarkers. It fixes everything. And for others of you, when you're doing carnivore, it's just not working. And you need to drastically eat more plant foods and more carbohydrates and switch the ratios of your food to get the effect that you want. How do you know which one of those changes will be best for you? Obviously, or maybe not so obviously, and that's why I'm shooting this video, is that it takes a little bit of experimentation. You don't know for sure unless you've given it at least 2 months, most of the time more. But if you've been on any diet for 6 months or a year or somewhere in that time frame and it's not changing your biomarkers and giving you the results that you want, you owe it to yourself to make some changes. Sometimes you got to make drastic changes. If you've been on a keto or a paleo diet where you're eating some animal foods, but you're also eating a ton of plant foods, you might be needing to go full carnivore. The issue with the plant foods is that there is so many variables: oxalates, salicylates, anti-nutrients, indigestible fiber, insoluble fiber, trigger foods, goisterous. There's a lot to navigate with plants, and for some people they just don't work. So taking them away and focusing only on bioavailable fats and proteins from animals, it works amazingly. It worked really, really well for me when I was transitioning with my issues from the vegan diet. Friends, if you're enjoying this content, remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to hit that notification bell, and leave all of your comments and questions down below. Gracias. But a lot of people have been asking me about this hoodie. It's North Face. I got it from REI. It is ultra comfortable, really warm, and I like to wear it when I'm being outdoors, when I camp, when I hike, because it's kind of breathable. I can open it up, and it's just nice. So because so many of you guys have been emailing me, asking me, that's why I just mentioned it in today's video. It's not a fashion critique. It's not a North Face ad by any stretch of the imagination. They don't pay me. I wish they did. And if North Face is out there and you want to send me gear, you're more than welcome to. I do two things that are a little bit different than a lot of the other carnivore dieters out there. One, I do cyclical carb cycling, which means that I go from phases where I'm having 0 carbs and highly ketogenic and 100% carnivore to times when my grams of carbs go up to about 100, sometimes 120. I'm eating things like honey, I'm eating some low glycemic fruits, I'm eating some more vegetables, and that feels really good to me. For me though, I limit my plant intake to only the plant foods I know work perfectly for me. I don't really do grains anymore in any way, shape, or form. I do a little bit of fruit. Sweet potatoes work pretty good. Regular potatoes work pretty good. But I go back and forth, and they seem to augment each other really well. I let my biomarkers and my palate dictate how I make my changes. So for example, if I've been eating ribeyes as my main calorie source for a few months, and I grill up a perfect ribeye one day and it just stops tasting good, I just don't feel like eating it anymore, I'm not gonna keep eating ribeyes. I'm gonna bring in more salmon. I'm gonna bring in more eggs. I might try ground beef. I might bring some ground turkey. I might try chicken. I might do lamb. I might do bison. There's lots of different options to choose from, but I'm going to listen. Also, if I've been in a ketogenic phase for a month or 2 months and I've been eating only animal products, and my palate just starts to be like, man, that honey is looking really good, or an apple might taste really good, or gosh, I just really feel like having some lettuce, then I'm gonna transition, I'm gonna up my carbs, and I'm gonna listen to myself. I'm gonna listen to my palate. I'm gonna listen to what my biomarkers are telling me. By doing this, I feel like you have a little bit of variation with your fuel source, which is awesome for being a human because it makes you anti-fragile. Having the ability to be a little bit more carbohydrates, a little bit more plant foods, and then being 0 carbs and 0 plant foods, and being able to go back and forth based on what my needs are, based on what's available, based on if I'm traveling or not. Having options makes being healthy and having healthy skin long-term way easier, way more fun, way more delicious, and just, in my opinion, more healthy. Having a diverse food as much as you can without eating trigger foods is one of the keys to sustaining the diet long-term. So to kind of like put this into a very focused wrap-up, if you've been vegan, plant-based, paleo, primal, keto, and eating a good amount of plant foods for 6 months or 4 months even, or a year or longer, and you're not getting the results you are wanting with your skin health, with your biomarkers, by all means, go strict carnivore. Go 0 carb, all meat carnivore and see what happens. Give it a test phase. you might surprise yourself. It might just set you free. And vice versa, if you're eating a carnivore diet, you've been in it for a while, 4 to 6 months or a year, and your biomarkers are not responding from that, start testing. Start adding in more plant matters, more low glycemic foods. Sweet potatoes, some of the things I've mentioned. This is kind of the whole basis of phase 2 in the 3 phases workbook, which the 2.0 workbook is finished. You can get that at holistichealthactivation.com. It is my step-by-step guide for figuring out what diet will work best for you long-term to heal your skin. But that's the basis of phase 2. Once you've gone through some cleansing and detoxification, reset your lymphatic and gut health, it's time to test what diet will work for you. Most people that I'm working with and most people out there find it easier to start with the carnivore approach and then add the plants in little by little to test them. But you just simply have to do 2 things. One, you have to give each diet enough time to work. 2 weeks is not enough. 4 weeks is usually not enough. A couple months at least. Testing your biomarkers, being honest with your results, making refinements slowly, not changing up foods drastically too much too often, moving slowly, moving methodically, but really listening to your body, your biomarkers, being honest with yourself. If you need to eat only animal foods, do it. If that works best for you, just roll with it. And vice versa, if you're really feeling the need to test plants and you're not getting the results you want from the carnivore diet, then make some refinements. Start adding in those plant foods. Test yourself. See how it goes. You might be someone similar to where I'm at, where you can do pretty good on all animals, or you can do really good with the right amount of plant foods. You also might be one of those people that is better off plant-based, meaning the majority of the foods on your plate each day are coming from plants. And then you're also augmenting your diet with fish and beef and lamb and pastured eggs and getting those bioavailable nutrients that you can't get from the plant kingdom. There are those people out there. If you've done really good on a vegan diet or plant-based diet, but there just seems to be something missing, then adding a small amount of animal foods might be what saves and really works well for you. There are many different ways. Each person who heals themselves is going to do it by customizing their diet plan, making it personal, and refining it slowly over time to work for them as an individual. That's what I've done. That's what Paul Saladino's done. That's what Tim Sheaf has done. That's what Michaela Peterson has done. That's what everyone who heals their body and heals their skin and heals their gut does. It's excuse me, it's very individual. And so make sure you're looking at the right signals and make sure you're making the adjustments that you need. Don't fall into dietary dogma. And remember, what works for me might not work for you. Thanks so much for watching the video today, you guys. I hope that gave you some insight on whether pure carnivore would be best for you or whether being slightly more plant-based could work better for you. Everyone's individual. For those of you who are looking to get a hold of me to become one of my skin health clients, there's a link in the description box for a consultation. I mentioned the 3-phase workbook 2.0 edition that's finally out. You can pick that up at the same place that the link will take you for the consult. In the description box is also Skinessa, which is the world's greatest skin probiotic. I take it every day. My clients love it. It truly is awesome. Gives great results for skin. And I just love that stuff. And on Instagram, you can find me as Rob Stuart. In real life, I'm just Rob Stuart. I'm putting up a lot of content there, STUART. I'll be back with a lot more videos this week, guys. Much love and stay safe out there. Peace.